What's up guys, Daniel here. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how you can create a small animation or cutscene in your game in Godot. First of all, I'm going to be showing you a quick demo and then we'll see how you can also implement this in your game. So let's look at this demo real quick. So as you can see, I passed on the new game. And so animation brings us into the new scene. Here we have some dialogue. I just added this recently. And now the screen is black for a couple of seconds. I gotta take that little dot out from the middle. And then the scene loads in, and as you can see, the car moves by itself, the dialogue goes on by itself. I can look around. There's some rain going on, some rain sounds, car sounds. As we approach the gate, as you can see, the car starts slowing down. The gate opens. We enter the building. And then we park. And as you can see, now we leave the car. So this is a simple cutscene that I done in my game. As you can see, now the game starts, I can move around and everything. So let's see how this was implemented. So let's go into Godot. First of all, I have this outside scene where everything was happening. Here we have this little note called intro stuff. This is where everything for me lives regarding what you just seen in this demo. The car, you know, the path that the car has to follow and everything. And the main way you can implement these cutscenes is with an animation player. This is a very powerful node in Godot. So for example, I have an animation for the intro. And basically from the car movements to the sounds and to the car opening, everything is almost done here in the animation player. So let's take a quick look at this, how this looks. So if you're watching this video, you're probably familiar with the animation player. If not, you can basically change any property of any node within the animation player. So for example, let's take this color rectangle here. This is, you know, the black screen that we saw at the beginning of the cutscene. I change its color. You can see here. So this is the span of the whole animation. It's 54. Opa, let's not change that. It's 54 seconds long, as you can see here. And at the, let's see, where is this? About, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, I change the color rectangle from black to transparent, so we can see the actual scene. So this is what basically the animation player does. It can change different properties of different nodes. So, as I told you, everything is done here in the animation player. So we have, you see the first property that we change here is called the path follow 3D. Now you might not have heard of the path follow. If you have, you can skip ahead a little bit. But what this path follow is, let me just turn on some lights here. What this path follow is, you can see that there is some kind of green line here, and it matches with the car's movement from the intro. So let me just show you here in the nodes. With this path follow, you can add a path follow 3D to a path 3D, and as a child of the path follow 3D, you can add any kind of node. And the nodes, as a child of the path follow 3D, will be able to follow this path. So, for example, we have here something called the progress ratio, and if I change this progress ratio, you can see that the car starts moving, and the progress ratio of 100% correlates to the very end of the position, and let's not change that, the 0% is where the path starts, right over here. And by changing this value, we can move the car. So you can see it starts from the back there and moves here. So by animating this, using the animation player, we already have a small little animation for the car. So that is the first part, the car's movement. And the way I've done this is, let me just move this back here. As you can see, the progress ratio starts out with 0% progress, let's say it like that. And at this timestamp, at 14 seconds, it starts moving. So it goes from 0% to 81%. That's just, you know, fine-tuning the parameters. I just seen what you know, works best. And at the same time, we change the black screen to a transparency screen so that we can see the scene around us. So this is how we achieved the car's movement. So as you can see here, if I drag the animation, I don't know why that sound is playing, you know, the door opening. But anyway, it works, let's not touch it. So as you can see, if we pass this line, the car starts moving. And as it, you know, approaches this, I set it to stay the same. So as you can see, you can also do things like this. So then in the animation player, I set two, what do you call these? Keys, I think, like keyframes. One keyframe is, as you can see, at let's not change that, at 0.81%, and the other one is also at 0.81%. So what this means is that from the 40-second timestamp to the 41, let's say 42 seconds timestamp, the car is stationary. So the progress ratio is not changing. It is also indicated here by this line that it's constant in this time period. It's not changing. So this is how I achieved, you know, as you can see here, that the car stops. So as it reaches this point, the car stops, waits for that thing to rise up, and then it continues its movement. And you might have been able to observe in the intro that the car's movement is not constant. You know, it started out as smooth in the beginning and then it slowed down at the end. And the way you can achieve this within an animation player is with this value called easing. And what this does is it changes the way the property changes depending on which time frame we're in. Now let me explain. So for example, at this node, we have an easing like this. And you can also like pick out these different animation styles, you know, ease in, ease out, and it changes, you know, it's basically the rate of change for this given property. So just like in this little graph here, or whatever you want to call it, you see it starts out smooth, it then starts speeding up, and at the end it also smooths out. So you can add this kind of smoothing effects and all these things with this easing effect. Now let's go on to the other properties. How did I achieve this camera transitioning and that the camera begins in the car and then moves to the player? This is all done by using a very cool add-on called the Phantom Camera add-on. I also made a video with this. I leave it in the description. It's an amazing add-on. I made a video about it. You can check it out. So the way I've done it is that in the car, I have one of these, let me see. Yep, here it is, the car. Let me just find it. Oh, here it is. It's outside the car anyway. So we have a phantom camera that is attached to the car. So as you can see right here, there is the camera. Let me just slow things down. So there is the camera, and that is where the things start out, where the player's initial camera is. And the way I've done this is, let's look at the code. So these phantom cameras have a property called priority, as you can see here. And how these cameras work is that the camera with the highest priority is going to be the active camera. So I have two cameras in this scene, one for the player and one for the car, for the camera in the car. The player's camera starts out with a priority of 0, and this camera starts out with a priority of 1. So that means that first of all, the car's camera will be the active camera. And then in the code, let's look at the script. You can see here I set the intro camera's priority to 2, just to be sure that it's going to be the highest. And then we'll talk about what's happening here. We play the animation that I just told you. We wait for it to stop, and once it has finished, we set the camera's priority, the intro camera's priority that's in the car, to 0 and the player's cameras to 1. And this right here is how we achieve the switching of the cameras. And here you can also add all kind of like effects, transitions, how you transition between the cameras. I won't go into it in detail right now because I made a whole video about it. I'll leave it in the description. So this is for the camera part. Just another little thing. You can set a follow mode and a follow target. And this is how I glued it to the car, so it moves with the car. You can see here, the follow target is this camera position that is a child of the car. You can see here, we have the camera position that is right here, where the camera should be. So that's it for the cameras. Let's look at other effects. Let's see how I've done the sounds, for example. We have two sounds, one for the rain and one for the car's motors. So as you can see, I've done this also with the animation player. As I said, it's a very, very powerful node. And what I've animated here is the sounds volume. So it starts out, as you can see, with negative 44 decibels. That's basically, you can't even hear that. And at around the 2 second mark, it climbs up to well, a value that you can hear. And the same thing is done for the rain sounds. So it starts out in the beginning as silent, and then it slowly becomes audible. So that's for the sounds. What else is interesting? So let's see how I've done the dialogue. So as you can see, here we have a function call within an animation player. If you didn't know that, you can also do this. At any time, you can specify to call a function. So for example, right here I have at 3.4 seconds, play this or run this start dialogue function. And let's see how this function looks like. And I've done the dialogue with this add-on, Dialogue Manager, which is a great add-on. I highly recommend you guys to check it out. It makes managing dialogues very easy. So we have the start dialogue function that gets called right at this time. If we take a look at that, let me go to the script. Let me just find it. Here we have a start dialogue, and all this does is calls the dialogue manager, which is a global script, and it calls its show dialogue balloon function. And here I load the specific balloon, I'll show you later, that I want to load or show on the screen, and I also pass some additional parameters. Let's see how this show dialogue balloon looks like. Within this add-on, you have either you make your own balloons, or there was an example balloon which I've used and changed a little bit so it works for my game. So let's look at it. This is what it looks like, and this is exactly what we've seen also in the intro. We have our little dialogue balloon. The add-on doesn't come with autoplay. You have to press some button for the next dialogue to appear. And this is one of the things that I've changed. So let me see where I've done this. Apply dialogue line function. I have a little flag that if auto advance has been passed as a parameter, then just wait a little bit and instantly call the next dialogue. I won't get into this right now, this dialogue manager add-on, because this is not the point of the video right now. If you want, I can make another video on this. But another key thing is that, as you can see, or as you saw in the beginning, I was able to move my head while the dialogue was showing. Now that was, I spent a lot of time trying to figure that out, how to do that. And just a quick heads up on how to do it so that you don't have to spend a bunch of time on this. You have to come to the control node. Here you have a mouse option, and at the filter you have to do ignore. You have to do ignore, and I think I've set this from code. That's why here it's at stop. Ignore mouse parameter is set, then set the mouse filter to ignore, otherwise it won't work. So I spent a lot of time on this trying to figure it out, but this is how you have to do it, I think. There might be other ways, but yet again, this is not the point of the video right now. A very nice add-on to manage dialogues and dialogue branching and all of that. So getting back to the outside scene, to the intro animations. So let's see what else could be interesting. So this is basically the idea. You have an animation player, you animate different things. For example, if you don't want to use the Phantom Camera add-on, you can even animate the position of the camera. So for example, you could take the camera, and here, with these little keys, you can insert different keyframes for the animation player. For example, if I wanted to add an animation for the position of the camera, I could come here, click this. I would recommend creating a reset track. So what it does, it resets everything when the scene loads to some default position. I'll uncheck this now because I'll just show this for demonstration purposes. So I have a position here, and you know, I can do something like the camera starts out at this position, and after some seconds it will be you know, at another position. I can change the position of it, insert another line, and here it is. And this is basically how you can animate different things. So let's see, what else do I want to show you. I have discussed the sounds, and another very interesting thing is that you can also in the animation player include different animation players. So for example, for the opening of this little gate here, I've done a separate animation for it. Let me see, where is this? Okay, I found it somehow. So as you can see, I have another animation player that animates this little ramp on here. So you can see it just goes from one position to another position. And you can take that animation player and plug it into another animation player. So we can say that I have it here as security gate / ramp / animation player. Take that animation player and at this timestamp play that animation. So this is also a very cool little thing that you can do. Let's see what else. And then for example, here you can also play sound. So for example, if the car is here, we'll do two things. We'll open the door, and this is basically just changing the rotation of the door mesh. As you can see, here's the door mesh. I've what happened here? Let's go back to my animation. I take its rotation value and, you know, rotate it by some degrees. So it goes from this to this. And then I also play this little car opening sound while it's opening. And basically that's it. I mean, that's how you can achieve these cutscenes in a game. Now keep in mind, if you have a very complex cutscene, it might be a better idea to just create a video about it and just play that video or something like that. For example, create an animation in Blender or something like that, and play that, because animating all sorts of things here might become very difficult if your cutscene is very complex. But in Godot, this is how you can do it using an animation player. And what you want to look out for is that you can change, you know, some good tips. You can change, for example, the rotation of the camera, the position of the camera, so it starts out from here, it pans from left to right, whatever you want, you can do it within the animation player. So yeah, that's about it. I think I've showed you everything. Trying to think about what else could be interesting about this. Oh yeah, let me just show you how you can set up this path follow, if you're interested about this. So in this path follow, first of all, you need to create a path. And the way you can do it is by, let me just show you. Let's get rid of this. So you can see there are some different points within this path. Opa. Why did it disappear? Okay. And you can, for example, take this path and move it around. You can add new points. So for example, I can add a point here. I think, yeah, it's underground now. So if I add a point here, then the car would come from here and go all the way there. I don't want to do that right now. Another very good or nice thing that you can do, you can also add these curves to the pad. So for example, if I change this, the curvature of the pad changes. As you can see, it can go also underground if you're doing this in 3D. So what I recommend doing is going in this orthogonal view, and this way the depth of the curve won't change. So as you can see, this is also a very nice little node in Godot. And as I said before, by setting a child, a path follow 3D child, and a child of that, anything that you want to follow that path, and by changing this progress ratio, you can have these nice effects where the car follows this path. And there's also a lot of other options here, you know, enable looping or all sorts of things like this. Won't go into it right now. The main focus of this video was show you how you can create cutscenes with the animation player. So yeah, that's about it. If you're interested about my game, it's called The Final Shift. It will be soon out on Steam. We're setting up the store page right now, creating the trailer and all of that. It's a horror game where you're a janitor and you come into work late at night and some weird things starts happening, and the inspiration for it was from PT Silent Hill, you know, the repeating floors, or not floors, the corridors, the repeating corridors. The same here, we have this like repeating floors, and the floors starts getting weirder and weirder as you go on. But I don't want to spoil too much. I want to leave some for you to try out. So if you're interested, there will be a link in the description when the Steam page will be out. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. If you want any other tutorials on Godot, please leave a comment, and I can make another video on some other request. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful, and have a great day. Have a great day. Goodbye.